In this video, we are going to be talking all about how to figure out how to price your family photography services in 2025. So I know I have just seen a lot of people like really struggling with prices. A lot of my coaching clients and photographers just coming to me and asking me, or I just see a lot of photographers coming to me saying things like, I'm just not making as much money as I need to be making, but I feel like I can't charge as much as I would need to be able to, cover my costs, or, I've done my cost of doing business and I just feel like I cannot charge the amount that it's telling me I need to cover my costs. So I feel like a lot of photographers really struggle with pricing. I just keep getting this question over and over, and so I am addressing it here in this video for you guys because this is just a huge topic that photographers really struggle with. I know so many people who just get to the end of the year and do their taxes and realize I hardly made any money. I was away from my babies, I put my kids in daycare or whatever it was, and I didn't make any money. This was not worth it. And I never want that to happen to you. That did happen to me one year too, where I just realized I had switched over from weddings to families, and I was trying to figure out I knew how to make my family or my wedding photography business profitable and sustainable, but I was struggling with how do I price my family photography to make it profitable and sustainable, because it's a whole different industry. And so that is what I'm going to be explaining in this video. How do we figure out our prices? It is hard. It's hard to figure out how to structure it in a way where we're bringing in a good income, but we're not scaring away clients because our prices are too high. So there is so much that goes into pricing, and the biggest thing is to make sure that you are not basing it on things that are irrelevant. Okay. One thing that I see a lot of people trying to base their pricing on is how much they think people will pay. And that is not the way to go about it. One, because there are so many different types of people out there. Okay. And you probably are not your own ideal client. I'm not my own ideal client. My prices are pretty high, and I do pay a lot for my own family photos. I just paid $1,500 for my own family photos. So I won't say that I wouldn't pay that much for family photos, but a lot of my friends and family, people who are similar to me, they wouldn't pay my prices for family photography. So one thing you need to think about is you may not be your own ideal client, and think about the fact that not everyone is like you. And I know that's a hard concept for people because you're surrounded by people like you, right? Your friends and family most of the time are in the same socioeconomic class as you. And so you tend to think my whole city is similar to me. We would all pay this much for family photography. And I want to challenge you and let you know that obviously this is location dependent, but in most cities, there are really wealthy people, and there are people who are in poverty, right? And so you may not be your own ideal client. You may not be willing to charge, or you may not be willing to pay the prices that you need to charge in order to make a living, but that doesn't mean that there aren't other people out there who are willing to pay those prices. And then another thing that I want to talk about, that this, again, I'm going to offend people here, but we need to base our prices on facts, not feelings. And one thing that I hear a lot of people saying is I just feel like everybody should be able to have nice family photos, and it's not fair to charge high prices because then some people couldn't afford family photos. And I want to push back on you there because one, we are running a business, not a charity. Two, you actually can serve people better by charging higher prices and then deciding to donate your services when you feel like that is necessary. So I charge high prices. A lot of people who are in poverty wouldn't be able to afford my services, but I do give back and give free sessions when I feel like it is something that is just like on my heart. So, I've done free sessions for families with cancer. I've done free sessions for families when they have a family member that's dying, and like that's the last family photos they're going to have together. So, when you charge those high prices, you're going to be able to shoot less sessions and have more room in your calendar when things like that come up. And then the other thing I want to say to you is there are always going to be low price photographers. There are going to be those photographers who are up and coming. They're just getting into the industry. They need to practice their skills. And so they're offering $50 sessions. And I'm not knocking those people. I'm actually saying that you as someone who needs to raise your prices in order to build a sustainable business, you are not only, if you refer people who are coming to you and can't afford you to those up and coming photographers who need to practice their skills, then you're not only serving those people well because they are getting good family photos even though they can't afford you, you're also serving those photographers well because you're saving those cheaper clients for them. Like if you're taking all of those cheap clients as someone who needs to raise your prices, then there's going to be no clients left for those people who are just entering the industry. So those people are still going to get family photos. You're serving them well because you're referring them to someone else, and you're serving those photographers well because you are letting them have clients that they wouldn't have otherwise if you stayed at those low prices when you could raise your prices. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so we're going to get into exactly how to figure out your pricing. Okay, we know that it's not based on feelings, and we know that it's not based on what you think people would pay. So what is it based on? Okay. So every business is unique, and so we want to make sure we're not copying other people's numbers because your numbers are going to be based on your cost of doing business, and we'll get into that. They're going to be based on your location, but I do want to preface that by saying that just because other people are in your same location doesn't mean you're going to charge the same prices as them, but it is something you're going to take into account, and we will get a little bit into that. And then you're going to have different income needs. As other photographers, you're going to have different ideal clients. And so we want to make sure that we're not copying other photographers because, again, like their business is not our business. We want to base our numbers on the facts of our own business. And so we don't want to base unless you do your numbers and they come out exactly the same as somebody else's, then we don't need to be copying other people's prices. Okay, so step one is you're going to figure out your cost of doing business. And also, before we get into all of this, I actually want to let you know that I have a new pricing coach, an AI pricing coach that I've created based on all of my knowledge from the past 10 years of running a profitable and successful photography business. And photographers have been jumping into this and telling me how helpful it's been to enter all of their exact business details and customized information, and it will give you literally exact pricing for what you should charge. It will tell you how you should structure your packages to not only attract your ideal clients, but also make the most amount of income possible. It will tell you it will literally calculate your cost of doing business for you if you have no idea how to do that. And it will help you with overcoming pricing objections and how to talk about your prices on your website and social media and other places in order not to scare off clients. And it can even help you with let's say you run through all the numbers and you realize okay, I'm charging this much and I need to be charging this much. It will help you figure out how to get from this number to this number in a way that actually makes sense and so that you don't lose clients, right? Okay, and so people have been jumping into this and telling me just how helpful it's been to them to know their exact numbers, how accurate it is based on like all of their unique business details, and how helpful it's been in figuring out like how do I speak to clients about this in a way that doesn't scare people away and communicates my value. So if you're someone who is just really struggling with pricing, you have no idea, and you need like literally personalized, customized help based on your exact business details, that AI pricing coach is only $27 for the first week. And if you're watching this after the first week, it's only $37. So I really highly recommend jumping into that. I have it's been on my heart to create a really low priced pricing, like help people with their pricing for a very low price point, because I know that this is something that so many photographers struggle with, and I have just been blown away by people telling me how helpful it's been for them. And so I was just so thankful to be able to make this resource for you guys. So if you're someone who needs literally customized help, go ahead and jump into that. But I'm going to be going step by step here on how to figure out your prices. So number one, you're going to figure out your cost of doing business. And this is basically just calculating like your exact costs and the minimum number that you need to charge in order to make sure you're covering all your costs. But this, one thing to think about is like, this isn't the price you should charge. This is the minimum number that you need in order to cover your costs. And then step two, you're going to factor in your location, because if you are a photographer in New York City, the prices that you're going to charge are going to be very different from a photographer in rural Alabama. And also your cost of living is going to be different. So you're going to need to make more income in order to cover your own like bills, like your living expenses. And someone who is in an area that's not as expensive to live in doesn't need to make as much money in order to live, right? And then number three, you're going to factor in your income goals. So maybe you're just a part-time photographer and you've got another job. Maybe you are like a stay-at-home mom and your spouse is the primary breadwinner, but you just want to make a little bit of money on the side. Maybe you are a single parent and you are providing for a lot of children. Maybe you are supporting other family members. Again, so everybody's income goals are going to be different based on their own personal needs, like whatever your personal life entails, where you need to figure out what what's your income that you need for your own personal life to cover everything that you need to pay for. And then step four is you're going to figure out how many sessions you can realistically shoot per week or per year. So one thing that I want to say with this is a lot of photographers, I feel like, kind of look at this as a number that you can't change, and I would disagree with that. So a lot of photographers, they run their cost of doing business, which part of that is figuring out how many sessions you want to shoot per week. And when the number comes out, they say like, this number is way too high. There's no way I can charge this amount of money. So there's a couple things you can do there. You can look at your costs and see like, okay, what costs can I minimize in order to bring my costs down so that I don't have to charge as much. Another thing you could think about is how can I shoot more sessions per week so that I don't need to charge as much per session. And one way that I actually shoot a lot more sessions per week than the average photographer. And so a lot of people will say like, well, you can't shoot more than 2 sessions per week. That's too many hours of work. You don't want to shoot more than that. And I would disagree with that. You know, if I was doing everything manually, maybe that would be true, but I automate almost my entire business. I shoot and edit, and that's pretty much it. Everything else is automated. I use Dubsado to automate my booking system. I use email marketing, Flowdesk, in order to automate all of my client communication and marketing. So most of my business is automated, and that's why, I'm not manually sending people contracts and invoices. I'm not responding to every inquiry. So I've got other videos on like how I've automated my business. And so that's why I'm able to take on more sessions per week than the average photographer. Another thing that you could think about if that doesn't resonate with you is some people like to outsource their editing or use AI for editing. Some people even outsource the shooting and have associate teams. And so there's a lot of things you could think through here based on your individual business and your goals and what resonates with you and your ideal client. You can think about like, okay, is there a way where I can realistically shoot more sessions per week without burning myself out, without actually working more hours? Okay, and then so those are kind of the steps you're going to go through when you're figuring out your exact numbers. And I cannot give you like literal exact numbers in this video. And again, that's because every photography business is so different. Like I, sitting here behind a camera, I do not know your exact location. I don't know your income goals. I don't know your cost of doing business. And so I really highly recommend getting that AI pricing coach that I mentioned earlier, because that is going to give you literal, specific, customized help based on all of those details about your own business. And it is going to give you exact numbers, literally exactly what you should charge. It's going to help you figure out your pricing and packages. It's going to figure out how to structure your packages. This is not like a one size fits all thing. This is literally based on your ideal client, your goals. And then it's going to help you with overcoming objections, how to talk about your prices to clients in a way that communicates your value. And it's going to help you with figuring out your cost of doing business. So I hope this video was helpful for you. I hope you jump into that new AI pricing coach. Feel free to let me know any questions that you have about pricing in the comment section below, and I would be so happy to answer those for you. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next video.